Good morning, everybody. We got Jake and Justin in the morning, and guess what? We have our first special guest introducing the president of the Sacred Heart University Sports Media Club, the inspiration for our show, Will Pesek.
Yeah, Will. I gotta say, thank you for having me. Second of all, Jake, a little bit of Mad Dog Caruso on that introduction, huh? I don't know if you know who that
I try.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew who that was because
Yes, I know. I know who that is. Yeah. Chris Russo's great.
He's old for me, and I didn't know him until I was about your age, so that's good for you guys. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you guys for having me on. First of all, you guys do a great job as it is. As I told you guys off camera, I'll say it for the listeners who are watching at home and watching you guys. And, of course, Justin has his tropical shirt on. He's already in summer mode. But you guys make my job easy. And as a president of the Sports Media Club, there's a lot of challenges I got to face, such as the whole treasurer issue we had earlier in the year, new members coming in. But you guys have made my job super easy. Every week you guys come to the meetings with a smile on your face. The energy you guys bring just makes this podcast run so smoothly. And I'm so stoked to see you guys actually do this show. And I've said it 1,000 times. I want the members to make their own podcast. Nobody has done it. You guys are taking the reins, taking the bulls by the horns, and you guys are doing a great job. So good job.
Thank you very much. And Justin, why don't you ask the question?
All right. So here's the thing, Will. In case you don't know, I have posted a definition. I have posted a word on the Urban Dictionary, an abbreviation for breakfast called BREK, B-R-E-K.
Okay.
BREK. It's going to be the new thing. I'm going to put a 1-cent royalty on it, which means if everybody in America says it every year, I could probably make $1 trillion. So, Will, what did you have for BREK today?
Well, it's a Friday in Lent, and I don't know about you guys, but I went to a Catholic school my whole life, and I'm not supposed to eat meat on Fridays. I almost made that mistake this week. So I did not have my standard bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage, egg, and cheese. I just had scrambled eggs with cheese because that's what I did. And listen, I'm a breakfast guy. Breakfast is my go-to meal.
Breakfast is a sacred meal.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Breakfast is amazing.
It is. I mean, personally, I can eat it every day. And if you go to 63s, I mean, their breakfast does not agree with my stomach at all, but it's too good to avoid. And I still go there as a junior because it's that good. So.
Now, Jake, I don't know why I'm asking this, but what did you have for BREK?
Okay, so I had some multigrain Cheerios and the bagel. Justin always breaks my balls. I have multigrain Cheerios for breakfast every morning.
Yeah, because you can't explain to me what a multigrain Cheerio is.
I don't know. It just the box. What the box says.
I don't know. Is it like multigrain bread, like in a Cheerio?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. I just know that tastes good.
Well, does it taste like a slice of multigrain bread?
I don't know what that tastes like.
Cheerios? Are you talking about Honey Nut Cheerios?
No, multigrain Cheerios.
No, it's a purple box.
I've never seen that before.
Neither have I. I think he got this thing off the black market or something.
My mom gets them to Stop and Shop like every week.
They're basically the same thing. It's a dead zone at the Stop and Shop. When I go to the Stop and Shop back in New Jersey, the homeland, it's yeah.
It is. I told you, Justin.
I mean, it does exist. You have to give him that. Like, it does exist, right?
I know it
I've never heard of it. Like, that's the first time I'm ever seeing that.
Really?
That's the first. I've heard of Honey. I mean, Jake, we're both from Long Island. I don't know how they do it in Suffolk County. I would say Nassau County is, the preference because I live there. You say Suffolk County because you live there. But I can say I've never seen that before. I can say that we have phenomenal egg sandwiches in both counties, and we have phenomenal pizza. But I've never heard
phenomenal and bagels.
Yes.
Sorry, Justin.
Well, Justin, where are you from? New Jersey?
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay? Go take a hike. Go take a Strong Island. Strong Island is where it's at.
Hey, you know what? Here's the thing, Will. I know you love NASCAR, but we have it in our old backyard. It's called the Garden State Parkway.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I gotta say, Justin, ready? Justin, I gotta say, I was going on vacation in Ocean City, Maryland, and I was on the Garden State Parkway, and my family got a flat tire, and we're sitting. And listen, the Garden State Parkway. If nobody's familiar with it, I mean, I'm not that familiar with it because I'm from Long Island, okay? I'm sitting in the car as a 13-year-old child, and my dad's on the side of the Garden State Parkway trying to fix the flat tire. And I can't tell you how many cars I've seen just zoom by doing like 100 miles an hour.
You know, they were actually going slow.
Okay, that's the problem.
All right, anyway, we got a great show for you today. We got a lot of topics to talk about. So, Jake, you have the floor.
First, we are going to talk about a very shocking development that happened this week from our three-time defensive player in the year, who was recently released by the Houston Texans, defensive end J.J. Watt. Surprise everyone, signing a 2-year, $31 million contract worth $23 million guaranteed with the Arizona Cardinals. So I'll start with Justin. Justin, what do you think about this move?
Okay, so here's my opinion for wow. That's the first thing I gotta say. Just wow. I expect him to go to a few places. Number one, in my dream world, I want him to go to the Jets because I want every good player to go to the Jets. Number two, I thought he was going to go to the Packers, or I thought he was going to go wherever Deshaun Watson went, wherever that may be. So the fact they went to the Cardinals, where they're definitely not going to get Deshaun Watson, because Kyler Murray, in my opinion, has kind of the same level of skill as Deshaun Watson, it surprises me. But now with J.J. Watt on your defense, and with a lot of good players like Kyler Murray and what's his name, DeAndre Hopkins on your offense, I think they have become a playoff team. Maybe a wild card team the least, but they definitely have a shot now.
All right, so Will, let me ask you this. How close is Arizona to a Super Bowl?
Well, let me answer the question feeding off of Justin Take a little bit, right? I predicted J.J. Watt to either go to the Buffalo Bills or go to the Green Bay Packers. Because if you look at both of those teams were a win shy of going to the Super Bowl. And Buffalo, in my opinion, if they got J.J. Watt, could have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. And Green Bay, if they got J.J. Watt, that would have been a whole nother story. But to answer your question, Jake, how close have they been to the Super Bowl? I don't know. But here's what I will say. At one point this season, they were 6-3. They were in first place of their division after beating the Seattle Seahawks twice. So, granted, Seattle's defense is not good. Granted, Seattle may trade away Jamal Adams again. Think about this for Justin, who I know is a Jet fan. The Jets are probably going to pay Marcus May before Seattle's going to pay Jamal Adams. And that's exactly what Jamal Adams wanted. But that's not the point of the conversation. I think that this does help Arizona's case to win a Super Bowl. But I do want to say, if Bill O'Brien was the head coach still of the Houston Texans, there may be a shot that J.J. wanted to show Watson are playing in Arizona. Because this guy was dumb enough to trade away DeAndre Hopkins. He could realize Kyler Murray for DeAndre Hopkins is going to be better. So that's not the case anymore. But I think this makes them a playoff team. I still think there's a lot of work they got to do. I mean, aside from DeAndre Hopkins, who's their number 2 wide receiver? Kirk? I mean, Larry Fitzgerald? So I think it's a reason for discussion. They are a playoff team, but they're not on Green Bay's level just yet. Or Tampa Bay's level.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I thought it was a shock. I thought it was either going to Green Bay because they could use another edge rusher. He's from Wisconsin. He went to college there. Maybe Pittsburgh because Dupree might leave. His brothers play there, including T.J. Watt, who finished second in Defensive Player of the Year this year. Or the Bills because they're a Super Bowl contender. Anyway, moving on. Spring training has started. It's in full swing. Getting underway. Mets, Yankees, and everyone else. There's a couple of rules this year in MLB that I want to see what your guys' takes are on. It should be a full season. Will it be a normal full season? Probably not, but it should be a full season. That is the goal. I mean, spring training started on time. The off-season was pretty normal. And, the MLB is planning to no extended playoff this year. No universal designated hitter. They also plan to do 7-inning doubleheaders. That's probably going to be most common when their teams miss games of COVID. Like if there's a breakout team misses 2 weeks, they can make them up as fast as possible. And also extra innings are expected to start with a runner on second base. So, Will, I know you're more of a baseball guy here than Justin, so I'll go to you first. What do you think about that, about these rules?
I think the universal DH rule has always been dumb. I don't understand why one league has it and one doesn't. Personally, my preference is it's a lot more enticing, entertaining to see Giancarlo Stanton come to the plate versus a guy like Steven Matz, who at that time was on the Mets, that was going to hit 130 and barely get a single in 18 plate appearances. That's just mind-boggling to me. And there were times where the Mets would make Jacob deGrom the 8-hitter to avoid the automatic out at the number 9 hitter, and also because deGrom could rake. He has a couple of home runs in his career. I think that's always been a dumb rule. I think last year it actually benefited teams in the National League. Look at the Braves, for example. Marcell Ozuna became a designated hitter. I mean, he's not going to have the opportunity again. And look at all the teams in the National League that have aging players that cannot necessarily play the field. I mean, it was short-lived, but Yoenis Cespedes last year for the Mets. He was a DH. You could have DH Robinson Cano. But now they don't have that option because Cespedes is gone and Cano's in another PED suspension, so they're not going to have that problem anymore. It's all the youth for the New York Mets. But I think it's more entertaining to see a DH rather than a pitcher. As far as the other rules go, I hate the 7-inning doubleheader rule. I think it's silly. It's not a real game. I mean, 5 innings is a real game. So you could play 7 innings and then have a 5-inning rain delay, and the game's official. And then they have the runner on second, to start extra innings. I mean, how fair is that? Because teams, and Major League Baseball made this clear, they're going to have to put the guy that made the last out. So you're not putting Billy Hamilton on second base. You're not putting Brett Gardner or, back in the past, Jacoby Ellsbury. There's a chance you could have Jay Bruce on second base in the bottom of the 9th inning. I mean, that's reality of it. I hate that rule. But also, it brings a lot of excitement. If you have a guy like Jay Bruce on second base, he ain't scoring on a double. The guy, I mean, he can't. You guys might be too young for this. You guys remember when Kendrys Morales played for the Yankees? It was like a 13-game stint, like 2 summers ago. John Sterling said on the radio, and that's a base hit by Morales. Oh, but he can't run a lick. And that's anybody else, it's a triple. The guy got a single. It was supposed to be a triple. To me, that's pathetic.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I hate the 7-inning double, the 7-inning rule. A baseball game is 9 innings, not 7. Unless it's a rain out.
Rob Manfred has ruined the sport of baseball. We all want to kill the commissioners here. And yes, but all the commissioners not named Rob Manfred have done a terrific job. Look at the NHL. Gary Bettman said when the pandemic hit, we're going to be the first team back to play. He announced the plan. They played. NASCAR's president, they resumed back in May. The NHL resumed in the summertime. The NFL had a plan. The NBA had a plan. Major League Baseball had 0 plan. There were talks of them having a bubble city in Arizona, in San Diego. And I don't know if so. Manfred was bombed the World Series. It looked he was drunk, hungover, or something. This guy's a jack. He's got to go.
I agree. I think he's one of the stupidest people on the earth. He's a complete imbecile. He has to go. And that's just how we will transition to our next topic, which is about the National Basketball Association. I'm going to go Justin first. Justin, what are your reaction to the slam dunk contest, 3-point contest, and skills challenge participants?
All right, so let me pull up my screen real quick just to show you guys. Can you just enable screen sharing real quick?
Did I not do that? Oh,
no. I'm trying to. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Okay, I made you the host, so you should be able to now.
Nice. Okay. So, first, here are the people for our viewers listening. For the AT&T Slam Dunk Contest, we have Cassius Stanley from the Pacers, Obi Toppin from the Knicks, and Anthony Simons from the Trailblazers. Now, as for this one, I'm gonna have to say this: The only reason why I know who Obi Toppin is because I'm in New Jersey and I watch the Knicks. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is, and I think there have been far better picks a couple years in slam dunk contests before this one. I mean, there were the ones where you had Zach LaVine, you had Aaron Gordon, you had Blake Griffin jump over a car. So I really want to see what these three people can bring to the table to make this just as big of a fanfare of a slam dunk contest as it usually is. But what do you guys think? Before I move on to the next activity.
I would have to agree. I think this might be the worst dunk contest ever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Cassius Stanley and Anthony Simmons. They play in Indiana and Portland. None of these guys have proved themselves as anything in the NBA yet. Cassius Stanley barely even got drafted. Anthony Simmons, I don't think was a high pick. At least Obi Toppin was a high pick, and I think he'll turn into a great player. But still, I don't know why these guys are qualified to be in the dunk contest. I was very upset with this dunk contest. There was rumors, we could have Zion or Ja Morant. Or, I was hoping, Aaron Gordon or Zach LaVine would be in, and we got nobody. Like, there were so many guys that turned down invitations. So,
look, and as far as this goes, I mean, I'm not the biggest basketball fan, but I could say, and this might upset the typical basketball fan that how I am towards baseball, hockey, and NASCAR and football. It hasn't been an exciting season. I mean, I'm a Nets fan. And the stuff are going to get Blake Griffin, so there's going to be a team of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Blake Griffin. I mean, these games are not exciting. Brooklyn is blowing out every team they play. I mean, we all know that the only threat to the Lakers and the Clippers in the West right now is the Utah Jazz. I mean, that's not exciting to me. The Knicks are barely above 500, and they're the 4th seed. I mean, this season has just been a complete dumpster fire. Like, to me, I can't get into this season right now because it's just not entertaining to me.
I would have to agree with that, and let's continue on with the NBA All-Star Game. Justin, what do you think about the 3-point contest? By the way, there has been a change. Devin Booker is being replaced by Mike Conley in the 3-point contest.
Nice, yeah. So it's now Mike Conley. It's going to be Jaylen Brown, Steph Curry, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum. I mean, this isn't phenomenal. If in reality, Steph Curry's going to blow this out of the water. Steph Curry's absolutely going to destroy this one. I don't think Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum or Zach LaVine really even have a chance at beating Steph Curry at the 3-point
The only person that has a
contest.
chance to beat him, and is not even a mention, is Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I don't know why Damian Lillard wasn't in this. I don't even know why Luka was in this. And for anybody who knows me, I hate Luka Doncic. I cannot stand that man because he is a sore loser. But I remember last year, last All-Star game, or 2 All-Star games ago, excuse me, they had a Joe Harrison, and he won, which I was surprised that he beat Steph Curry.
Guy, Brooklyn Net, I love it.
Yeah, he's a great 3-point shot. I think he's a very underrated player.
Jake, you'll find this appreciative. One of my good friends from high school works in a Trader Joe's on Long Island, in the same town where Joe Harris lives. If you're familiar with the town, he lives in Garden City.
Well, I actually was my second choice before I went to Sacred Heart was Adelphi University, which is in Garden City.
Yeah, that's
very nice.
That's like 5 minutes from my house. Well, more like 10 with the traffic that you have. But next time you're in Garden City, keep an eye out for Joe Harris because he does live in that area.
I certainly will. I will, if I see him, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to everyone in the True Sports Media Club and make everyone jealous. Anyway, the last contest for the All-Star Games. Justin, what is your opinion on the skills competition?
Okay, here we go. So we have Robert Covington. Can we stop now?
I mean, I
You
don't
stop
even
now.
watch that much NBA, and I can tell you that that's not an enticing name. I can tell you that
No.
my favorite basketball player right now in the entire NBA is Domantas Sabonis, and he's in here. But aside from that, I mean, you're going to have Robert. This guy's like, what, 37 years old, Robert Covington? Feels like he's been around forever.
Yeah, Robert Covington was on the Rockets last year after, Daryl Morey decided, let's go small ball, which was really smart, by the way, when you have when you have a 7-foot Anthony Davis on the Lakers, absolutely hard carrying LeBron, breaking his back every game. But anyway, we have Robert Covington, Luka, whatever. Chris Paul. I like Chris Paul. Julius Randle, my boy. Domantas Sabonis, Will's favorite, and Nikola Vucevic. I actually think out of all of these, this is probably the best one because the skill challenge is the skill challenge is a lot of different things. It's like passing into like a net. It's like shooting a layup, shooting a three-pointer. There's a lot of things to do in this game, and I do think that a lot of these players have the potential to keep it very close. But I do wish that there were some players that were in here more. Like, personally, I would have rather seen Zach LaVine than Robert Covington. I probably would have also wanted to see maybe Devin Booker over Vucevic. But aside from that, I think this one is going to be the best out of the contest that we have for this year.
Okay. Moving on. All right. What are Justin? What is your prediction for the All-Star game? Team LeBron versus Team Durant.
Okay. I hate LeBron.
I agree.
I also don't think that he picked very well this draft. Because think about it this way, you had 3 chances to get Donovan Mitchell. And then you also think you're really smart by saying, I want a big man, I'm going to go for Domantas Sabonis. That is almost as bad, if not worse, than when Giannis last year said when Kemba Walker and James Harden were left, when he said, I want somebody to pass me the ball, I'm going to go for Kemba Walker. And look what happened to him. So I think just for better pick purposes, I think it's going to be Team Kevin Durant.
I would have to agree with that. I think LeBron's starting lineup is better, but Durant's, by the way, I don't know why he's the captain if he's not even playing in it. His team is much better overall. They're much deeper. Their bench is like 10 times better. I'm going to say that Team Durant beats Team LeBron, which I hope so, because like Justin, I cannot stand LeBron James.
Thank God that Giannis is not a captain, because I'm in the minority when I say this. I don't think Giannis is all that. I mean, he's not a one. He's not a lead on a team. He's not a Durant. He's not a LeBron. I mean, this guy had it all, and he lost to Kawhi Leonard. And it wasn't just Kawhi Leonard that beat him. He let Pascal Siakam beat him. He let Kyle Lowry beat him. Guys that barely could get it done in the playoffs in the years past. This guy's not a one. He's just not. He needs another player with him to be successful. Kawhi doesn't. He single-handedly beat every team. He beat every team by himself. And I love Kawhi Leonard. LeBron beat every team by himself. And you guys may not like him, but you have to acknowledge it, that he beat every team by himself. He brought the Cleveland Cavaliers with nobody to the NBA Finals. Giannis can't do that. Giannis is a 2. He needs somebody else with him. And I'm telling you right now, for all the Buck fans on Twitter, it ain't Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin ain't helping you. He ain't helping you. He's barely going to help the Nets. Maybe in his prime he would help you, but he's not helping you right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think Giannis may be a 1, but he needs a 2. Like, LeBron doesn't need a 2. Kawhi doesn't need a 2. Giannis needs a 2. Anyway, moving on to – this is a very interesting topic. Shaquille O'Neal, for some reason, has decided to just go off on Donovan Mitchell, saying he's not a superstar superstar player. He literally told him on national television after the Jazz won that he said, I just want you to let you know, I don't think you have what it takes to be a superstar. Then he criticized him again, and he called today's NBA players pudding pops.
I have a direct quote for you. Let me pull it up on my screen.
Yes, you do, Justin.
Yeah.
I'll get your feedback and I'll hear mine because me and you both have very interesting takes on this one.
Yeah, so let me get it up real quick for the people. So here's what he said, and I quote, I'm just doing what was done to me, O'Neal said. I can remember when I was averaging 30, 35 in LA, but we were always getting swept. And the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said, hey, you guys haven't won a championship yet. Did I whine? Did I cry? Did I complain on social media? Nope, I didn't say anything because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a Chief 14 classification to say that. What am I going to do? Have a dispute with the greatest NBA player ever? So when he said that, he gave me constructive criticism. I took it, and I listened, and I brought my game to another level. So these guys now, they're putting pops. Here's the problem with that, and there's multiple problems with this. First things first, saying to a player on national television that I don't think you have what it takes, I just want you to know that isn't constructive criticism. That's criticism. Two totally different things. Second of all, I know enough about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to know he's a very quiet person, I want to say, and he would never say anything like this on national TV. I don't even think inside the NBA was a thing when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said this to him. And number three, I know you were averaging 30, 35 in LA, but you lost. That's the thing. That's the thing. You said to Donovan Mitchell that you didn't think he had what it took when he won a game, which just makes it even more shameful. And he's also with this quote, he's almost making it seem like he has the same skill level as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which I just think is absolutely sinful. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is one of the greats, as is Shaq, but I think Kareem is better. But Shaq at this point really needs an ego check. Seriously, somebody needs to check his ego, put him in his place, and has to tell him that you have one job: to interview players and make Papa John's commercials. So do yourself a favor before you get fined and stop criticizing innocent players, because the Jazz are number one in the West right now, and they have the greatest record in the league. And apparently Donovan Mitchell still doesn't have what it takes.
I have to agree with that. Also, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar told Shaq privately. Shaq went on national television and said to Donovan Mitchell, I don't think you have what it takes. That's just, honestly, it's a dick move. You don't go on national television and say something like that. That's something that has to be done in private. Shaq, as a former professional, that was a classless act, and Shaquille O'Neal should be ashamed of himself. Anyway, on to our next topic. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers.
I got this one. Give me the mic, buddy. Okay, let's roll. So the Lakers, there is a trend going on. I'm surprised that the Lakers are still third in the West without Kevin Durant. Guys, please tell me that I didn't just say Kevin Durant.
You're close.
Will, please tell me that I didn't just say Kevin Durant.
Hey, I mean, Kevin Durant's on my team, but I see what you're saying. You're referring to Anthony Davis, and we want to say that LeBron can do it by himself, but he's at that point where he needs somebody else right now. And you saw what happened his first year in Los Angeles, where he did not have help, and they were a dumpster fire. The second year he gets Anthony Davis, and they win the whole championship. Now, I mean, if they get look, for all the Laker fans out there, it's not about where you seed in the playoffs. If you are healthy, you're the favorite to win the West again. I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah. but the problem is how I can give LeBron credit for his talented career, but the biggest issue that I have is that people are still giving LeBron too much credit when, as Will said, when the Lakers were in, when the Lakers were in, when Lakers didn't have Anthony Davis, they were 11th in the West. So you had LeBron then, but now you have Anthony Davis now. So are we seriously going to praise LeBron for something that was clearly Anthony Davis's work? Because Anthony Davis absolutely shined on that team. In my opinion, he should have won MVP last year. And I don't think they have any other weapons aside from, Alex Caruso at times. And maybe Montrezl Harrell, because I still think he's still a pretty good player, and Dennis Schroeder, because I thought he was a phenomenal player in OKC, and he should have been a starter a few years ago. But the Lakers are very lucky that Anthony Davis is only expected to be out for a month, because he was out for another year. They'd have to do Operation Tank for Bronny, and they wouldn't even have a shot at the championship this year.
I would have to agree with that. By the way, LeBron cannot lose enough for me. Whenever he loses, I smile and I laugh. And honestly, I'm not sure they're going to win the championship just because I don't know if Anthony Davis is going to be 100% when he comes back. Remember, this is a very short off season, and also the Lakers had the shortest one of all because they won the championship. So Anthony Davis was already not 100% when the season started. Now coming off a pretty significant Achilles injury, probably the next level of Achilles injury he could have would be torn, which could be a whole year that he was out. And so if he's not 100% when the season started, after being off for a month with a pretty serious Achilles injury, which is a very serious injury, he won't be close to 100%. I mean, 50% AD, I would take over a lot of players in the NBA, but still, LeBron James and the Lakers need a 100% healthy Anthony Davis, or at least a 75% healthy Anthony Davis, if they want to win a championship. If they don't have that, they might get to the finals because playoff LeBron is outstanding. But if they play, a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who's got superstars left and right, I would not take them to win that series. Anyway, now to our favorite segment. You hate to see it. Justin, take it away.
Oh, okay. First of all, before we start this segment, I just want to talk about one thing with basketball that I was talking to Jake with before the podcast. Whoever watches hockey, I forgot what it's called, but Will and Jake, you guys definitely know what I'm talking about. Where the hockey players, they play outside for a little
Outdoor
bit.
Classic.
Winter Classic is always played on New Year's Day.
Okay, well, anyway, I just thought, wouldn't that be really cool if they did that for basketball? I don't see why you couldn't do it for basketball if you could do it for hockey.
Well, they can do it for basketball, but the NHL tried to outsmart the Sun about a week and a half ago by playing at Lake Tahoe. And word of advice, when you're playing outdoors in Nevada in the sun, yeah, ice is going to melt. But, this topic for another day. It can be done for basketball. They just can't play in New York in January. Same stuff here.
Yeah, but that would be really cool. Anyway, let's move on to hate to see it. So, Will, here's how we do it. I found a couple of things, some of which is clips, courtesy of House of Highlights. Other things are just moments that I saw that I thought were pretty funny. And we're all going to rate out of 10 how much you hate to see it. How does that sound, Will? All right, let's get started. Let me share my screen for the 50th time today. Let's share it. All right. So, Will, I know you're a hockey fan. I know you're an Islanders fan. I'm a Jersey fan. So, I'm going to say this. I hate to see it. 10 out of 10. I absolutely hate to see it.
Hey, man, but you got to give the Devils credit, and here's why. New Jersey is a young upcoming team. What I want you to do is I want you to pull up the Devil skaters. You see the Islander skaters there. Can you pull up the Devil skaters? Just you might want to click over to Devil. Yeah, there you go. So look at the Devils right here. look at the guys who I'm going to mention. You have a lot of players on that team that, in my opinion, are going to be superstars. Miles Wood had the only goal of the game, albeit there was 12 seconds to go in the game. The guy's great. His dad played for the Islanders, Randy Wood. I don't remember him. He's out of my pastime. I will tell you, there's 2 guys I want you to circle, 3 guys I want you to circle on the Devils roster. One of them is number 17, Igor Sharangovich. Sharangovich is going to be the next star. They gave him Ilya Kovalchuk is number 17, so it might be a little reminiscent there. Another one I want you to notice is number 29, the goaltender, Mackenzie Blackwood. God's going to be terrific for you guys. I think it's going to be another Martin Brodeur. And the final one is number 8, Will Butcher, a fantastic offensive defenseman, brings a lot to the table, finally healthy, good season for the Devils. I take that. I love to see that score, 2 on Islanders. But Devils have a bright future. Don't get down on yourself.
Yeah, wait a second. I see Will Butcher here, and for anybody who has Amazon Prime and watches The Boys, I immediately think Billy Butcher, who's like this absolute badass. So, I don't know why we're losing with one of the greatest people in TV I've ever seen.
That's diabolical.
All right, but you know what I hate to see even more, though? Jake? 20 out of 10, I hate to see it. I hate to see
Love
it.
to see that.
I wanted some content. I want to see the Islanders lose, and I want to see the Rangers lose, so I could get some content and finally say that New Jersey finally has something that we could flex onto the New Yorkers. But no, not yet. Not yet. Next clip. Calgary Flames. Warm up.
This is great.
All right, let me pull it up in full screen. So walk us through. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's that. So it looks like one of them also got managed to get hit in the face of it.
So that's Sean Monahan. For Jake that's familiar with the Islanders, that's Casey Cizikas' brother-in-law. They actually married sisters. So Sean Monahan is one of my favorite players in the entire NHL. And that's another reason why you should always wear your helmet at warm-up, because that crap happens. I mean, that shit happens.
All right, well, Will, how much do you hate to see it? Out of 10, how much do you hate to see it?
I hate to see that 10 out of 10 because I do love a Sean Monahan, and that's just embarrassing. They're also embarrassing that they actually fired their head coach, Jeff Ward, and they hired Daryl Sutter, who won 2 Stanley Cups with the Los Angeles Kings. And Daryl Sutter is an aging coach. He's 62 years old. So I don't know how this is going to work out for Calgary, but 10 out of 10, you hate to see that.
How much you hate to see it, Jake?
That's 10 for me too. That's just by the way, they lost that game 6-1. So what a disastrous week it's been for Calgary. Their warm-ups go as bad as it could have gone. You got, their goalie banged into Milan Lucic, and Milan Lucic was shaken up. Then you have 2 guys just collide into each other. And then Sean Monahan, one of their best players, gets nailed with a puck in the head without a helmet. He had to go to the locker room and get stitched up before the game even started. They had a disastrous warm-up. They get blown out by one of the worst teams in the league. All of a sudden, they're 6-1, and then they fire their coach, middle of the season, and hire, an aging coach who hasn't coached in like 5 years in Daryl Sutter.
Can I just say this really quick before we go on to the next topic?
Mm-hmm.
Because it is getting late, and I want you guys to be able to get your rest, because the Buffalo Sabres are a complete dumpster fire right now.
Yes, they are.
I'm not joking when I say this. You guys can fact check me. The Buffalo Sabres head coach Ralph Kruger actually coached European soccer. All the talent in the world. Jack Eichel, number 2 overall pick. Taylor Hall, Jeff Skinner, the $9 million man for the next decade. And they're coached by a soccer coach. A soccer coach.
Yeah, they've been a dumpster fire. I heard Jack Eichel wants out. The first thing you should do is get rid of Ralph Kruger. I just don't see it with this dude. Get rid of him. Get a good young coach in there. This something needs to change. Like every couple of years, it's like, oh, here they come. Rebuild's coming to an end, and then they finish 20 points out of the playoffs.
Managers as well. I mean, this is not the first rodeo for the Buffalo Sabres. I mean, who's it going to be at the coach? Jack Eichel didn't want Dan Bilesma there. They fired Dan Bilesma, who won a Stanley Cup with the Pittsburgh Penguins. And out of all the coaches I'm going to mention, Phil Housley, a Hall of Fame defenseman, he was not the answer, but Ralph Kruger, their European tackle coach, is. Yeah. Great defeat. And shall I mention that the owner, Pagula, is the same guy that owns the Buffalo Bills. So a little bit of a Dolan controversy here with the Rangers and the Knicks and the Buffalo Sabres and Buffalo Bills. But carry on with your show, guys. You guys are doing a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So now we move on to basketball. So 76ers, Indiana. So pass it over to Embiid, Mr. MVP. Doug McDermott, the insurance guy, falls. Now, you might not see this quick enough, but if we get a close-up here with the team and we kind of point 25 this, you're going to see something real funny. I hope he has insurance. That's all I'm saying. Because tooth comes falling straight out. How much you hate to say it.
You're saying hockey, so 10 out of 10.
I would have to agree. Doug McDermott's a grown man. He ain't getting that tooth back. He's got millions of dollars to get the best dentist, but it's not like the tooth fairy can bring him a piece of candy and then it'll eventually grow back. He ain't getting that tooth back. Now he's gonna look like he lives in Kentucky for probably the rest of his life, unless he gets some sort of filling or something and then he'll look even sillier. 10 out of 10. You just hate to see a guy lose a tooth when it's sport that's not hockey.
Jake and Justin, unfortunately, I have to head out, but I want to wrap up your show. I'm going to hop off the Zoom, wrap it up. You guys have done a terrific job on this podcast. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I did love the Mike Mad Dog Russo intro by Jake. And if I could give my best Mike Francesa impression, or actually, before I go, if you'll allow me, I want to pull up my favorite Mike Francesa prank call here for a second. Because for those of you that don't know, Mike Francesa got prank called 1,000 times. He was a loser on the mic. Can one of you guys make me the host again, if you guys don't mind?
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to do that. Justin, I think you're up.
Oh, I got it.
There it goes.
So
I've made.
It's only a minute long, but this is my favorite.
Ray in Bridgeport, what's up, Ray?
Oh, I can't hear it.
Same.
Huh.
Did you guys say you can't hear it?
Well,
There it goes.
I mean, there's guys like.
There it goes.
No, I didn't ask you to give me Canada. Give me something that Mickey's done wrong this year. Well, because Jason Giambi's out there, he could coach this team just fine. Well, you know what? Some people, I know you get like points or something by mentioning Jason. In your little club or whatever it is.
Hold on.
But
I don't know what's going on. Give
Some
me a
people
second.
think will actually be a manager.
Give me a second. Did you guys hear it, though? Did you guys hear it?
Yeah, he sounds like a helicopter dispatcher.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, somebody called him and asked him if Jason Giambi is going to get the Mets job. That's just what people do. They just love to screw Mike Francesa. But you guys are doing a great job. Hopefully, in the future for you guys can be the next Mike and the Mad Dog, but don't have that breakup that they had. But you guys are doing a great job. My aspiration in life is Craig Carton, not the jail time he did. So let's talk about that negativity. He's my favorite radio host.
What about the hair?
I mean, I am losing hair though. I mean, my hairline is receding. I mean, look at this. My hairline is receding. But I will say though, I do have gorgeous flow. Like sometimes when I'm bored, I'll just like flip it back, and I'm like, wow, like I do have some nice flow. I'm trying to grow out the mullet though. You know what I'm saying? But you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. I'm really proud of you guys. You guys make the Sports Media Club a huge boost. If it wasn't for you guys, our podcast, our meetings are nothing. So good job. Keep it up, and I'll talk to you guys later this week.
Thanks, Will. We'll see you at the
Thank
next
you for
meeting,
coming
man.
on. We'll talk to you soon. See you later.
Yeah.
I gotta make one of you guys the host.
Make me the host. I gotta share my screen.
Okay, if you guys share, I was gonna close my eyes and pick, but you guys share your screen. I'll make it Justin. You guys have been great. I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Bye, Will. All right.
All right, thank you, Will, for joining us. Well, I just muted myself there. By the way, thank you all for joining us. So let's move on to You Hate to See It. Why not? Next clip. Let's do it. Woo! Okay. So, next up. So, about a year ago, De'Aaron Fox made a really cool foul miss to end up, I think, winning the game against the Timberwolves. So, this is a flashback. He deliberately misses like this and just gets the rebound and just lays it in. That is absolutely incredible. But, now he decides, yeah, let's try it again. And let's watch what happens. Watch what happens live, I should say. Yeah, here we go. Yep. I don't think he realized that that you had to hit the rim to get the rebound. I don't know if you count that an air ball or if you count that nothing but net. But anyway, how much do you hate to say it?
Oh my God, that is a 10 out of 10. Like, you know what to do. You've done it before. If you hit the net, what you can't move. That's a penalty. That's like basically a foul. Like the Come On Man segment for NFL. That's like this for basketball. Come on, man! Like that you basically airballed a free throw. Like, what on earth was that? De'Aaron Fox. You just hate to see it. I'm sorry, you hate to see it.
Yeah, I give that a 10 out of 10, and I also forgot that the Kings were still a team. Anyway, next clip. Okay, so here we go. This is a quick clip. So here we go. Lakers doing Lakers things. Alex Caruso goes up. Ooh!
Oh, no!
Man goes down. Now, if we can get a real close-up real quick, watch. No, I'm going to do slow-mo Inception. It's already in slow motion. We're going to do it at 0.5. Alex Caruso goes up. Boom!
Oh, no!
And he just goes down. Yeah, he needs the medical staff to get him. Now, as a guy, I know that this is painful. I give this a 20 out of 10. The first ever 20 out of 10 to hate to see it. But Jake, how much do you hate to see it?
Oh my God. I give this a 30 out of 10. Like, oh my God. You get kneed by another grown man, a professional basketball player, a bony knee right in the family of jewels. Just God, please help Cameron Johnson. Please let something good happen to this man. Just 30 out of 10. I absolutely dread to see it.
Yeah, prayers up for Cameron Johnson. Hopefully he has some kids. Anyway, then there's this one. So this was what I like to call probably one of the dumbest tee-ups I've ever seen. So let's listen in. So if you guys didn't hear that there, Montrezl Harrell screamed N1, a normal thing, and he's upset because he got a technical foul for that. Something that everybody says in the league he gets a technical for, which is really just, in my opinion, showing how ticky-tacky the refs are, because nobody ever calls a technical on saying N1. So how much do you hate to say it?
I'm going to go with a 7. I can't stand the Lakers. But, I mean, the NBA referees here, they've been horrible. They're giving out teeth for everything. They're as Shaq would say, they're the real pudding pops of the NBA. They need to chill out. They need a reality check. They need to start fining these referees for calling these ticky-tacky technical fouls. This is getting ridiculous, If these ticky-tacky fouls, you say N1, you do a little Phil fist pump, you're getting a technical foul. You got to get sensitivity out of the NBA. The referees are there to make calls. You do not care who wins, unless you're Scott Foster. That's another story for another day. 7 out of 10. It would be a 10, but I hate the Lakers, so I could deal with it. But the NBA referees, something's got to happen with them because they're awful.
All right, I'm gonna conflict you on this. I'm actually gonna give this a 5 because it's not really funny. It's just sad. It's just really, really sad how this is where the NBA season has come to, where we're all of a sudden teeing up people for saying N1. But either way, no matter what team you are, I absolutely hate to see it. Next clip. You know I was going to do this one. So this is the reserves. So let's see how many times. So as you can see, freaking LeBron just doesn't pick Donovan Mitchell the entire time. But this one has to be my favorite. Let's see here. Can we get to it? Play the clip. Now, you guys are thinking that he's going to go for Rudy Gobert, right? I thought he was going to go for Rudy. This is like a Sixth Sense plot twist here. You had 3 chances to get Donovan Mitchell. And then you say you screw it up. Then you say, I need a little size. Domantas Sabonis. Really? I already explained this a little bit earlier in the podcast, so go check it out. But like I said, I think LeBron picked worse than Giannis did last year. And then Durant ends up making the smart play and picking up Donovan Mitchell anyway. And then when LeBron gets Rudy, oh my God, when LeBron gets, dude, I hate these ads so much. Can we live in like a world without ads?
I agree. These ads are annoying.
Yeah, let me tell you something. While we're waiting on an ad break here, YouTube is getting way too comfy with the double ads. I don't need 2 ads. Please. Oh, can I skip here? 5, 4, tres, dos, uno. Yeah,
There we go.
And then freshman Spanish. There we go. But anyway, so he makes a smart play. But anyway, LeBron gets Rudy Gobert. He looks pissed. He looks absolutely pissed. like he is so freaking mad that he got him. So what I'm gonna ask. So here's mostly what I'm saying. LeBron skipping Donovan Mitchell 3 times and then choosing Sabonis over Rudy Gobert. How much do you hate to see it?
I'm going to go for 3 just because I just don't like LeBron, and I'm happy that this should lead to him losing in the All-Star game. And kind of like the last one, this is kind of funny. It's more just ridiculous. Like, you passed on Spider Mitchell 3 times. Like you pick like Jaylen Brown and Paul George, guys who are not nearly as good scorers as Donovan Mitchell. Yeah, you need a little size. Gobert's like 7'1". He's won Defensive Player of the Year multiple times, one of the best centers in the league. And you go for Domantas Sabonis, who's like 6'6" or 6'8". So, he barely even made the All-Star team. He was an injury replacement for Anthony Davis, and Rudy Gobert is a perennial All-Star year in, year out. Like, what is wrong with you, LeBron? Like, there's a lot of things wrong with you, but seriously, what is wrong with you? Well, it's only a 3 just because it made me laugh, is because I don't like LeBron.
Yeah, I give it a 10 just because it's a really atrocious pick. But anyway, that's it for You Hate to See It this week. I know you guys loved it. Please tell me you guys loved it. Let us know in the comments because, we work really hard to find these things and we just like to make you guys laugh on this great Saturday morning. But now for the end of it, a nice happy note. It's Jake and Justin's Athlete of the Week. And our Athlete of the Week, I'm proud to say, is none other than the Brooklyn Nets star, James Harden. Because obviously he asked for a trade to go to the Brooklyn Nets, and they are retiring his jersey. According to Tillman Fertitta, he will always be a Rocket. Because he's brought them to the playoffs almost every year. He won an MVP there. He was the scoring leader there for the past 3 years, and it's good to know that in Houston nobody else will wear the number 13 except for this bearded man here, who I don't know why is deciding to go mini dreadlocks because he looks like he has a spider on his head. But anyway, I love to see it. What about you?
I love to see it too. Anyone who says Hard does not deserve his jersey retired by Houston does not know what we're talking about. The man is top 5 in every category in Rockets history. He brought them to the playoffs every year. They had 4, 5, or 6 of greatest seasons in franchise history. They had over 50 wins 4 or 5 times. They had over 60 wins once or twice. Yes, he never got to a finals because he ran to one of the greatest teams of all time, the Golden State Warriors dynasty, every single year. If he hadn't run into them, he probably would have had at least one championship. If Chris Paul did not pull his hamstring in Game 6 of the NBA or Game 5 of the NBA Finals and miss the final 2 games,
it was Game 6, yeah,
and
then he was there for Game 7.
I think the Houston Rockets would have beat the Warriors. I thought they were the better team, and I think they would have easily beaten the Cavs in the finals. The Warriors, who weren't as good as them, wiped the floor with them. The Rockets would have, hit them out of the park. So I think Chris Paul cost him a championship. No wonder he wanted him traded the year afterwards for Russell Westbrook, who's now on the Washington Wizards, missing wide open layups and being mistaken for Isaiah Thomas, who's not even in the league. And that's another story for another day. But he's a great player, one of the greatest pure scorers the NBA has ever seen. I think he's going to the Hall of Fame. He's a former MVP. He'll have multiple scoring time his career's over. He'll probably have multiple MVPs. If he's in Brooklyn, he should end up getting a ring, and I'd love to see it as well.
All right, well, that's it. That concludes our podcast. So, first things first, and once again, I want to thank Will Pesek for joining us. We'll see you at the next Sports Media Club meeting. By the way, follow Shoes Sports Media Club on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can find it, because funny enough, we're actually the social media managers of it. So all those funny memes you see, that's us. That's us. So just a quick plug. We have an Instagram account for ours. It's called The Real Jake and Justin. So be sure to follow that as well. We're going to post maybe clips of our podcast and other fun things we do, while we're rooming together here. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Maybe next week for Bruck, I'll try some multi-grain Cheerios on live. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your Saturday morning. So long.
So everybody, thank you so much for watching. Like Justin said, follow The Real Jake and Justin on Instagram. We'll post our podcast. Maybe we'll do some videos or maybe some previews. By the way, we'll have a special guest next time. Who is it going to be? I'm not going to tell you. You got to watch the thing.
These people don't know that.
Really? Yeah. Come on. This is the best radio show ever. You gotta watch it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Jake and Justin signing off.